Good evening, Costa Mesa. This is Jeff Pettis, your District 6 East Side Costa Mesa City Council candidate. And tonight is number 10 on the installments of questions and answers videos. We're actually down to, I think there's 3 more, including tonight. And I got a question from somebody this evening, actually, great question. He said, hey, why don't you do stuff that differentiates you from Harlan? Okay, let's do that. I think I've been doing that all along, but we're gonna be specific tonight. And tonight we're gonna talk about, this is just a little prop here. This is the a mailer that went out for the Progressives, Mayor Foley and her person, Jeff Harlan. That's Jeff Harlan. That's Mayor Foley. And that is pointing towards support for Proposition 16. So in, what is it? I'd say 1996 Prop 209, I think it was the affirmative action initiative that was voted down, I think, by 75% of the voters in favor of not having affirmative action. So what Prop 16 does, and just forgive me for 1 second, I never do this, I want to read it just so I get the reading right. If passed, Prop 16 will remove the following language from California's Constitution, quote, "The state shall not discriminate or grant preferential treatment to any individual or group on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in the operation of public employment, public education, or public contracting." In other words, if you said it another way, the state can discriminate against and grant preferential treatment to all those groups. So Prop 16 removes that language from the California state constitution. So let's just say right out, I already showed to you that the Foley regime and her person, Jeff Harlan, are supporting this, and I am dead set against it. And why am I opposed to it? There's several reasons, but first and foremost, government shouldn't be in the business of advancing some applicants over others based on race, sex, color, ethnicity. Doing so necessarily means disadvantaging others in the process of doing that. So they're basically contradicting themselves. And I hate bringing up race because I hate all the word racism thrown around in today's society. I'm just not, and I don't think that we have, I know that racism exists. I know that racists exist, but I don't think we're a systemically racist country, state, or city. I'm not a racist, so I don't even like giving credence to it. But I think in this case, why do they support it? The only thing I can come up with is that in this time of BLM, Antifa, and all the protesting and all the madness that's been going on, it's a perfect opportunity for folks to get in there and use the narrative of systemic racism to gain control. And I think that's what this is about. You know, when it comes to schools, getting college entrance, and is it a fair playing field? Both the UC and the CSU systems are, right now, they have a majority of female enrollment, for one, on the sex side. There's been huge advances in traditionally unrepresented people being admitted to universities, state university and universities. 2015 to 2019, African Americans and Latinos had huge advances in enrollments. And if you're looking at the public sector side of things in terms of government work, and they're talking about civil service, they're talking about city workers, state workers. Between 2015 and 2019, from 2015 to 2019, it was 54%, give or take, depends on what stats you're looking at, to now 57.5% increase in non-white people working in public service. So I don't think I don't think since Prop 209 was voted down, there has been a suppression of minorities, people of different color, different genders. I don't think there's been a suppression. And even the people who are concede, the folks that are in favor of these things, concede that not letting affirmative action in, it didn't dissuade minorities and people from getting ahead. I think what they're doing, and they'll even tell you this right now, right? By voting in Prop 16, it'll give a boost to, even further boost to the chances of blacks and Latinos getting into the university and CSU colleges. So I think that is not the way to do it. I don't think a government mandated approach to doing that is the answer. I don't think the government mandated approach of much of anything is the answer. I think a better approach would be to start at the K through 12 education level. We're doing a terrible job with public schools in terms of, and I talked in my last video about that, the influence of teachers unions, tenure and all that. I think if we focused on improving the K through 12 school system for everybody, charter schools, vouchers, private options, school choice, we're going to do a much better job setting these folks up for getting into the CSU and UC system than any kind of government mandated proposition. So that is why I am against 16. Again, Foley and her person, Harlan, are in favor of 16, and I don't think that does anybody any favors, and I encourage you to vote for me for City Council in District 6 so I can fight against all this stuff. I hope that answers one specific way I'm different from Harlan. More to come, I promise.